Well, friends of Mundo Maldini, here I am at Movistar. We're going to analyze what this has been. Real Valladolid, Real Madrid. A pretty comfortable win for Real Madrid, especially from Kylian Mbappé. Differential, unstoppable, spectacular. Any positive adjective we want to use for Kylian Mbappé might fall short, because right now Mbappé has struggled, but he has burst onto the Spanish championship with such force. He has made a tremendous impact at Real Madrid. Today, he was the one who made the difference. Other key players? I'm going to talk about Bellingham and Real Valladolid's actions. That being a little more specific, there were some interesting tactical changes from Ancelotti. But once again, we have to say that the man of the match, obviously, is the one who truly makes the difference. Right now, beyond Bellingham's moment, Bellingham's leadership, etc., it's Kylian Mbappé. Victory for Madrid, quite comfortable, let's go. Well, guys, you already know that Mundo Maldini sponsors the city of Ceuta, which is a wonderful city that you have to visit. It holds a very important place. Now we continue talking about the match. Of course, about this statue of Antonio Sanchez, who was a doctor and the mayor of the city and was murdered during the Civil War. At the start of the Civil War, he is held in tremendous reverence, both from the left and the right. We always have flowers here in Ceuta. Here you have it in homage to this great figure. Let's analyze the match. But you already know that Ceuta is definitely worth a visit. It's amazing. All right, let's go. Friends of Mundo Maldini, let's talk about Mbappe's finishes. Mbappe's finishes. The first goal, a play where you wall pass with Jude Bellingham, who has also been doing quite well. He has been doing well. And then the perfect shot to the far post. And the one who makes the run behind, right from Rodrygo. Just a movement of a great striker on a counter-attack from Madrid. The stampede with him and Rodrygo, and then Rodrygo's touch for him to just stop. He positioned his body and perfectly touched it to the far post. Also two finishes from the true star Kylian Mbappé, who is getting closer to Robert Lewandowski. Tomorrow I'm going to comment on that match between Barcelona and Valencia. I'll comment on it on Cope. We'll see if Lewandowski is capable. And above all, if Barca is able to not lose any more ground to Real Madrid. Because Atletico Madrid lost today. Madrid is now 4 points ahead of Atletico Madrid after Atletico's draw, and this victory for Real Madrid. That has had quite a few things to discuss. First, then I want to come back at the end of the video to ask you something about Kylian Mbappé. I want to ask all of you, friends from around the world, a question. Maldini about Kylian Mbappé, and I want you to answer me in the comments. Asencio, right back. Carlo Ancelotti considered Asencio as right back due to Luka Vázquez's injury. To include Tchouaméni, today it has been exactly that. Tchouaméni, Rudiger, Fran Garcia in good form. That Carlo Ancelotti was starting to consider the possibility of Asencio as a right back, with Luka Vázquez injured to bring in Tchouaméni. And well, today it has been exactly that. Tchouaméni, Rudiger, Fran Garcia, who is having a good moment, by the way. And Asencio as a right back, who has done quite well. There's a play in the second half where a penalty is taken. True, penalty taken. But even so, he has done quite well as a right back, and it's one more possibility. In midfield, with Dani Ceballos, who is also in very good form, I think that putting Asencio as a right back has allowed Valverde to play in his best position. I liked Valverde's game. The other day, Carlo Ancelotti said that Valverde is the most complete player in the world. Well, it's a compliment for one of his players. We could have a long discussion about whether he is the most complete player in the world, which he is one of the most complete. He's definitely a great player, no doubt about it, but it's also true that he plays best in midfield. I mean, the fact that he could play as a centre-back, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the further he is from the goal, whether playing as a full-back or as a centre-back, the worse it is. For Fede Valverde, today Fede played in his natural position, which I believe is as a double pivot. In fact, he started playing on the left and Ceballos on the right in the double pivot, and he ended up changing them. Logically, very soon, Ancelotti aids Valverde's shooting. Ceballos controls midfield. Madrid started slow, but skills won over Valladolid. Controlling midfield. Madrid started poorly, they looked sleepy. Valladolid had corner chances. Sila, cutting inside from left, and Marcos André played from behind. Gradually, individual skill made the difference. Valladolid pressed, complicating things for Madrid until talent emerged. But the truth is that little by little, the first has been the individual level, which has made the difference when the game had not yet been defined. In fact, Valladolid was pressing, not a lot, but they were making things a bit complicated for Madrid, and then the talent showed up. I always say it again, many times in big teams, they find the goal before they find their rhythm, before the game really gets going. That happened to Real Madrid. A perfect wall pass between two players who are both phenomenal like Bellingham and Mbappé. And in the face of that, there's nothing you can do. You just can't defend. Coca is asking for quite a few reinforcements, for good reason, but we'll see if Real Valladolid gets them because they are really struggling right now. We'll see if they get them. But the truth is that first goal wasn't difficult. It was practically impossible to defend. The wall pass with Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe's finish was truly top-notch. And from there, Madrid started to take control of the match. They began to dominate the ball with Ceballos. Then, Luka Modric came into the midfield in the second half to give them even more control over the game, and Valladolid. The truth is, they really didn't create any problems anymore. They didn't create anything. Problems with 0-1, and even more so with 0-2. That goal I told, from Mbappé making the perfect move behind Rodrygo, and then the crossed shot to seal the match. A very comfortable match for Madrid. Honestly, very comfortable. Very comfortable for Madrid. Was expected. This too, Real Valladolid is barely getting by. They're hanging on by a thread. In fact, there's a significant crisis at the club, also involving Ronaldo, because they're not signing anyone and they're selling players. And Coca, he's quite upset because they're not giving him the players he wanted. In fact, they're not giving him any players. Overall, Madrid won quite comfortably. I remember moments from Rudiger, Xavi. Fran Garcia hasn't had any problems getting down the left side. Pretty good. Good movements from Rodrygo, Brahim. He hasn't shown up much, honestly. He hasn't shown up much. I expected a bit more from Brahim today, as he had the chance to be a good player, starting in that forward line with Brahim, Mbappé, and Rodrygo. Mbappé moving like he always does, slightly shifting towards the left side. And I say it was a comfortable match for Valverde. In the end, I think he even ended up playing as a fullback at times. Anyway, there have been quite a few experiments from Carlo Ancelotti in a match that has ultimately been, frankly, comfortable. Alaba came on. In the final stretch, he's still giving the Austrian quite a few minutes to gradually get him back into shape. And Tchouaméni ended up in the midfield with Madrid having the upper hand. Without much depth, honestly, in the second half, Mbappé's goal didn't create much more, but in the end, he had the match completely under control with total ease. Literally. And I want to ask him that question about Kylian Mbappé. Right now, he's the most decisive player in the world. I think so. Right now, he's the most decisive, the best. You have that video I made with mine wrong. The Bad Vine has had some spectacular matches. There are players who are in tremendous form right now, like Rafinha. They're in amazing shape. Bellingham is very decisive. In other leagues, we could talk about Harry Kane, who scored today with Bayern Munich. The most decisive player in the world in recent matches is Kylian Mbappé. The most decisive player recently is Kylian Mbappé. He is a player who can win games alone, by far. It's Kylian Mbappé. He's a footballer capable of winning a match all by himself. That's reality. He can win a match all by himself. Kylian Mbappé. He did it. Several times he did it in the Saint-Germain match. And if he was like that, I criticized him a lot. Because in the first matches, he was pretty bad. He lacked confidence. He was practically not pressing without the ball. All of that has changed, and now he is a player full of confidence, who tries everything, who practically succeeds at everything, and honestly plays with a tremendous superiority over his opponents. By the way, he was about to score a stunning goal. Luka Modric, very nice. A pass from Arda Güler, which would have been the Dane 0-3 in the final stretch of the match. The truth is that Luka Modric deserves to score, because the level of the Croatian when he comes in has been really good. In short, it was a display from Kylian Mbappé, a victory for Real Madrid, and Valladolid is a bit more sunk. Tomorrow you'll have a video of the Manchester City-Chelsea match, and we'll probably make some more videos tomorrow as well. Of course, let's see if I do the notes on Real Madrid. A little bit based on what Kylian Mbappé has done, I want to watch the PSG match. Because Kvaratskhelia has been a starter, and I really want to tell you how he played. Kvaratskhelia, I'll watch him tomorrow morning. And we also have the South American U20. And here we never stop, friends of Mundo Maldini. Victory for Madrid, comfortable. Mbappé, impressive. In Valladolid, Valladolid did. A hug, bye.